There is a lion most people have never heard of. The Congo lion. The only lion on Earth that lives in primary rainforest. In Wild Congo, the Lair of King Kong. It's dark and full of unanswered mysteries. This lion is Kasai, named after the river that flows through the heart of the DRC. Kasai weighs 180 kilograms, lives alone, and is running out of time. A primate that shares 98.7% of its DNA with humans. Found nowhere else on Earth, is sharing a roof with this lion. A hunt in the deep jungle darkness. Target: primates. Something no savanna lion has ever attempted. This kingdom still exists. But the question is, how much longer? The Congo River stretches 5,000 kilometers and is the deepest river on Earth. Its current runs powerful enough that no mammal can swim across it. To the north, chimpanzees. To the south, bonobos. A shared ancestor separated by 1.5 million years, and a single river evolved into two species with entirely different philosophies of life. The Congo Basin holds 90.9 billion tons of carbon, more than the Amazon. 10,000 plant species. 30% found only here. This is the green heart of the planet. At its center, Kasai is hunting. The dry season gives way to the flood season. The distance between dry forest and floodplain narrows day by day. This is Kasai's territory. These are the conditions that forged a lion entirely unlike any other. An adult savanna lion weighs 180 to 250 kilograms with a thick mane. Kasai's mane is thinner and shorter, not a sign of weakness. This is thermal adaptation. In tropical rainforest, a thick mane traps body heat. Core temperature climbs. Endurance fades during a long hunt. Beneath the canopy at dawn and dusk, when prey is most cautious, Kasai sees clearly when prey cannot see it at all. The savanna lion roars across 8 kilometers, a signal of power broadcast across open plains. Kasai's roar is different. It sounds like the forest itself breathing. not something standing outside it. Savanna lions hunt in prides, driving prey into kill zones across open ground. The forest has no open ground to drive anything into. That might seem like a disadvantage. A lion hunting alone on the savanna achieves only 17 to 19% success. The forest is Kasai's ally, not an obstacle. Every year, when the floodwaters arrive, the lowland forests of the DRC are transformed entirely. Prey concentrates on higher ground, denser populations harder to reach. A hunter that can swim holds an absolute geographic advantage. Savanna lions avoid water. Kasai's coat is short and dries quickly. The forelimbs are powerfully developed. Swimming demands strong front legs, not the back-driven propulsion of a running sprint. About that tree climbing. In tropical rainforest, the ground level belongs to insects. Anopheles mosquitoes carry heartworm larvae, a parasite that can kill young lions. Kasai climbs trees not to ambush from above. Lions do not drop onto prey the way leopards do. Kasai climbs to sleep, to breathe, to survive the peak parasite season. This is the mark of a species that has adapted completely to an environment its ancestors never knew. But today, Kasai does not climb. Kasai steps in. Water rises to its knees. The short coat clings to the skin, but does not drag the way a thick savanna coat would. This is a lion that fishes. This is a technique refined across many flood seasons. "250 kilometers to the south, on the Katanga Plateau, a different version of the same bloodline exists. The Katanga lion, larger, thicker mane, lives in prides of 3 to 5 individuals. Katanga is not tropical rainforest. It is open plateau, closer in character to savanna. And so the Katanga lion resembles the savanna lion more closely, both in build and in hunting tactics. What does this comparison reveal? That the Congo lion is not a mysterious, isolated entity, but the far end of an adaptation spectrum. The same ancestor, 2 different environments, 2 different outcomes. The Katanga lion holds a wider territory across open ground. The smaller range, dictated by dense canopy and seasonal flood resources, does not need territory anywhere near that size. In the Congo forest, prey is denser per unit of area. Kasai must move in silence. And today, it proved exactly that. Kasai does not rule this kingdom alone. A few kilometers from the floodplain, a parallel world is running its own course. Over 1,000 mandrills moving together. The largest recorded troop of non-great ape primates on the planet. The hierarchy inside a mandrill troop is not simply biggest male wins. Alliances between males, time invested in social grooming, the ability to resolve internal conflict all play a role. Kasai avoids a troop of mandrills. 1,000 mandrills will detect Kasai from 200 meters, sound a warning cascade, and every primate within 500 meters will know a lion is near. Hunting efficiency, 0. Kasai does not waste energy. In an environment where information travels as fast as a primate alarm call, stealth matters more than speed. A troop of 1,000 mandrills consumes fruits, seeds, fungi, and insects across a wide range. The troop moves 5 to 7 kilometers each day, leaving behind seeds processed through digestion, ready to germinate. Mandrills are the unintentional farmers of the forest floor, long unaware of the role, but extraordinarily effective. Lose the mandrill troop, and plant diversity in the lowland forest declines with it. Every species in this kingdom is a link in a chain far longer than what is visible. Western DRC, the Beke Plateau, and stepping out from the forest edge, a silverback western lowland gorilla. Not a common sight. Gorillas are forest animals. They avoid open ground, avoid direct sunlight, avoid exposed space with no cover. But Bateki is the exception. This may be the only place on Earth where western lowland gorillas can be observed stepping out onto grassland that stretches to the horizon. Globally, approximately 360,000 western lowland gorillas remain, the largest population among the 4 gorilla subspecies. But the Bateki DRC population is a relict, extremely rare, discontinuous distribution. No precise population count yet established by science. Science has not determined how many gorillas survive at the Congo forest grassland boundary. But certain Bateke grasses carry higher mineral content than forest leaves. On the Bateke Plateau, the Congo lion and the gorilla share the same territory, apex of 2 different kingdoms, sharing one boundary. The African forest elephant, smaller than the savanna elephant, built compact for navigation through dense vegetation. It consumes 150 kilograms of plant matter daily. Seeds that pass through its digestive system are replanted along its roots. Without the African forest elephant, dozens of tree species lose their only method of seed dispersal. Canopy structure shifts, light penetration changes. Secondary plant species reorganize in turn. And the prey that depended on them disappears too. The forest elephant rewrites the forest each day, but only 30,000 individuals remain worldwide. Kasai rules the ground level, but above there is another predator, the leopard. Not in direct competition with Kasai, the leopard hauls prey into trees, something Kasai cannot do. In the Congo forest, hoisting prey into a tree is a strategy against hyenas and other competitors. Kasai outweighs the leopard by a factor of 3. It has no concern about the leopard stealing its kills. 2 large predators, 1 kingdom. No conflict necessary when each occupies its own vertical lair. The elephant shapes the structure of the forest. Mandrills clean and redistribute seeds at ground level. The leopard regulates prey populations in the mid-canopy. Kasai, at the apex of the ground layer, controls the balance of large herbivore populations. Every species holds a position. Every position is essential. Lose one layer, the others begin to fail. This is a kingdom with architecture, and it is being dismantled from the lowest layer upward. But before reaching that story, this kingdom holds a mystery that took science decades to begin to understand. A species whose very name most people do not know, yet sharing nearly the entire human genetic blueprint, Salonga. A name known only to biologists. But this is the largest primary tropical forest in Africa. Not chimpanzees, even though they look so similar. That biologists in the early 20th century confused them. Bonobo. In 2023, the Max Planck Institute confirmed 98.7% of the bonobo genome is identical to the human genome, a species most viewers have never heard of, yet sharing human DNA at a level closer than any other species except the chimpanzee. Approximately 40% of all bonobos remaining on the planet are living inside Salonga forest. 15,000 to 20,000 individuals worldwide. Salonga is the last stronghold of humanity's closest living relative. Bonobos build society on principles entirely opposite to chimpanzees. Females lead. Alliances between females determine who eats first, who mates, who is driven from the group. Male bonobos are on average 10 to 15% larger than females physically. But physical strength does not translate to social power in this society. Power comes from the quality of alliances and the skill of relationship building. A male's rank in the group depends on the status of his mother. This is an inverted patriarchy, a society where social inheritance flows through the maternal line. If chimpanzees had been called warriors of the primate world, bonobos are called the diplomats. Bonobo society is stable because it builds durable alliances rather than competing for short-term power. When two bonobo groups meet at a territory boundary, conflict is usually resolved through social contact, not combat. While the forest elephant disperses seeds through digestion, the bonobo is the gardener of the canopy. 50 to 70% of the bonobo diet is fruit, wild figs, breadfruit, African oil palm, and forest species found only in the upper canopy. Canopy tree species that depend on bonobos for seed dispersal have no alternative mechanism. Elephant and bonobo co-write the vegetation map of this kingdom from ground to sky. Why do bonobos exist only in the DRC and nowhere else on Earth? The answer lies in the river. At its widest points, the Congo River reaches 16 kilometers, with a current of 42,000 cubic meters per second. No primate, including strong swimmers, can cross this current. North of the river, chimpanzees evolved toward patriarchal structures and tribal conflict. South of the river, bonobos evolved toward matriarchal structures and social peace. 1.8 million years of geographic separation was enough time for the same ancestor to become two entirely different species with two entirely different codes for living. One river created two worlds. 600 kilometers southeast of Salonga, on the Katanga Plateau, lies a different chapter of the same bloodline. This is the domain of the Katanga lion. Here, pressure does not come from a forest environment. The way Kasai endures, pressure comes from a competitor that never sleeps, a spotted hyena. Hyenas are the most systematic competitors for kills in Africa, not the lazy scavengers of popular imagination. Hyenas hunt 60% of their own food. Stealing from lions accounts for 20 to 30% of their total caloric intake. A hyena pack of 15 to 20 overwhelms the response speed of a small lion pride, not through direct confrontation, but through the patience of numbers, waiting for the lions to exhaust themselves after a long hunt, then arriving in greater force, overwhelming through noise and sheer numerical pressure. The Katanga lion learned to adapt across generations. Eat fast, prioritize the highest value portions in the first 15 minutes. In the first 15 minutes after a kill, a Katanga male can consume up to 30% of the prey's body weight. Kasai in the forest faces none of this pressure. There are no hyenas in the primary Congo rainforest. And in the swamplands, the guardians of the water layer are the dwarf crocodile, the smallest living crocodilian, but still reaches 1.8 meters in length, weighs 32 kilograms. Endemic to Central and West Africa. Dwarf crocodiles regulate fish and amphibian populations in forest channels and serve as secondary prey for multiple species in the kingdom, including fishing birds and monitor lizards. Night falls over the primary forest of the Congo. Temperature drops to 22 degrees Celsius after dusk. Humidity rises to 95%. Kasai is awake, resting after last night's fish, eyes sweeping the canopy darkness. This is its hour, and tonight is not an ordinary night. Savanna Africa hunts with speed and coordinated encirclement. The Congo forest has no open ground for encirclement. Only a single approach path exists before prey detects the threat. That demands something no savanna lion ever needed: total silence. Primate prey has no acute olfactory system, unlike zebra or buffalo. But hearing and vision compensate entirely. Red colobus monkeys have a hearing range from 20 Hz to 65 kHz, nearly double the human range. They can detect footsteps at 40 meters under normal forest conditions. In forest hunting, 80% of the outcome depends on the stalk phase, not the final sprint. The lion's maximum speed of 50 kilometers per hour is useful only at very short distances in confined jungle space. Red colobus monkeys are expert climbers, but must occasionally descend to find young buds and fresh leaves, their primary food source. This is not the diet of any savanna lion. A troop of red colobus, around 30 individuals, is moving through the low canopy at twilight. An adult male separates from the troop to descend lower, seeking young buds from branches roughly 2 meters up, food that cannot be reached from above. The size of everything can go to the lowest tier. The most dangerous tier, distance 25 meters. Not a predator alarm, just a contact call. 180 kilograms of muscle and bone waiting for a single signal. In the silence of the Congo night forest, the colobus alarm spreads through the canopy. Within 500 meters, every primate knows a lion made a kill tonight. A young lion fails 80% of primate hunts in its early years, because the primates learn, just as the lion learns. Red colobus troops have a species-specific alarm system. The lion alarm call is distinct from the eagle alarm, distinct from the leopard alarm. When the troop hears a lion alarm, they ascend and hold silence for up to 20 minutes, even when the lion is no longer visible. In the Amazon, the jaguar, weighing up to 120 kilograms, is the apex predator of tropical rainforest. Its primary prey includes capybara, small caiman, and peccary. The Amazon has no great apes. In Sumatra, the tiger reaches 260 kilograms for large males, but no great apes. Only in the Congo, only through the African lion, does a predator-prey dynamic exist between apex predator and great apes in the same ecosystem. This is the result of the Congo River isolating populations and preserving endemic species, the Congo rainforest being the center of Central African biodiversity, and the African lion entering and becoming something entirely different across thousands of generations. Kasai is not a lion that has been diminished by the forest. Kasai is a lion the forest built, with everything that pristine environment has distilled and kept. Every characteristic is the body's answer to a question the Congo forest posed. No species fills this role. No other big cat over 100 kilograms exists within this range. No other predator can simultaneously regulate populations of forest buffalo, bongo, and primates. The Buteke Plateau, a name absent from most tourism maps. No resort, no paved road to the center. Only golden grass, green forest, and 50 million years of geological history. This is the place where every model of species distribution would place two things that should not coexist. Lions on savanna, gorillas in forest. Two kingdoms, two terrains, two worlds. But Buteke is the exception to every rule. The ancient EOC geological system, with its sand hills, 50 million years old, remnants of a vanished ocean, created open clearings stretching across a sea of tropical rainforest. Perhaps the only place on this planet where that happens. The Buteke gorillas are an unusual population. Not purely deep forest gorillas, but a community living at the boundary of forest and grassland. A species that normally avoids open space, but has learned to move through both. Approximately 360,000 gorillas remain worldwide, most of them eastern gorillas. The Buteke population is far smaller, and this is a zone where both gorilla and lion coexist. Not because they are harmless to each other, but because the space is wide enough to avoid. A century ago, the Congo held approximately 100,000 lions. This estimate draws from combined assessments of territory area, prey density, and records from early 20th century expeditions. Then came commercial hunting. The mane of the African male lion was especially valued by dealers in jewelry and traditional medicine. From the early 1900s through the 1970s, tens of thousands of individuals were killed. Then came habitat loss as forest contracted, prey declined, and conflict with agriculture increased. Then came conflict as this region endured decades of civil war and conservation had no priority while people were fleeing. Then came disease, canine distemper, spread from domestic dog populations to wild lions in the Serengeti in 1994, and killed a third of that population in a matter of months. And this region had no equivalent monitoring system. In Katanga today, estimates range from 200 to 300 individuals. Some sources put the number below 150. Since 2016, the International Union for Conservation of Nature has classified the African lion, including the Central and West African subgroup, as vulnerable globally. The West African subpopulation is classified as critically endangered regionally. West African populations number fewer than 400 individuals scattered across more than 20 countries. Insufficient density to maintain genetic diversity. Not declining, disappearing in silence. In 2014, a camera trap deployed on the Buteka Plateau as part of a multi-species survey captured an image. A large male, alone, walking an elephant trail, an ancient path that once carried far more footprints. DNA analysis of nearby scat samples indicated this was very likely one of the Beke lions that had once moved through the area in larger numbers. Is this the last one? The researchers did not confirm. That cannot be confirmed from a single observation. There may be other individuals somewhere in the plateau. That uncertainty, the space between already gone and somewhere still surviving, is where conservation must begin. Not waiting for confirmed extinction, acting while the question still has no answer. There is a real precedent, not theory. Rwanda, 2015. Akagera National Park had gone through 60 years without lions, after the population was completely wiped out during the Civil War of the 1990s. In 2015, African Parks and the Rwanda Development Board released 7 lions sourced from South Africa, 5 females and 2 males. They selected individuals from genetically healthy populations, quarantined and conditioned for human management contact. Within months of release, 2 of the females had given birth to the first 8 cubs. By 2023, the population exceeded 40 individuals, nearly a 6-fold increase in 8 years. The fastest growing reintroduced lion population in Africa. This was not luck, it was the result of active management. GPS tracking, vaccination programs for domestic dogs, community partnerships with border area farmers, and revenue-sharing structures for local communities from wildlife tourism. In Mozambique, the first lion in Zinove National Park was recorded after 40 years of absence. From 2018 to 2024, 3 new breeding prides formed with over 30 cubs. Total African lion reintroduction data from 2000 to 2024. Over 100 individuals reintroduced across 7 countries, with a 73% survival rate after the first year. Not just Rwanda. In Eswatini, formerly Swaziland, no lions were recorded. By 2024, the population stood at 21 individuals, following a reintroduction program. In Kidepo Valley, Uganda, the population dropped from 250 to below 50 in the 2024, had reached 145 individuals after 15 years of community-based protection. In Namibia, a benefit-sharing program linking communities to wildlife tourism, launched in 2007, delivers more than 40% of total income to local communities from wildlife tourism. The result, communities self-monitor park boundaries without outside enforcement. Namibia became the only African country with an increasing lion population during the decade from 2010 to 2020. The Namibia model is not protecting nature from people. It means nature has real financial value for local communities, and local communities become its guardians. This is a model applicable to Batake. Not easy, not fast, but with real precedent. Not conservation theory in the abstract. A Batake plan exists on paper and is being assessed by several conservation organizations. The plan involves releasing female lions from Botswana and Namibia, populations with strong genetic diversity, onto the Batake Plateau. In biological terms, the prey base remains forest buffalo, bongo, red river hog. Habitat is intact. The 2014 individual confirms that survival conditions are still viable. The challenge is sustainable funding. Boundary protection for the reserve within the context of Eastern DRC instability. And coordination with communities dependent on these resources. This is why international attention from viewers, from the scientific community, from financial institutions matters more than ever. The results at Yellowstone after 1995 are fully documented in the journals Science and Nature. The return of wolves caused elk to avoid river margins, allowing riverside vegetation to recover, stabilizing riverbanks, and ultimately changing the course of the river itself at multiple points. Ecologist William Ripple of Oregon State University called this the trophic cascade effect, running from top predator down through the entire system. In the Congo forest, the cascade effect of the Congo lion is more complex because the ecosystem has more layers, more species, and more cross-dependencies. But the principle is the same. Every level of the food chain depends on the presence of the level above. And when the apex is removed, the change flows downward, step by step, in ways no computer model can fully replicate. This is why the Beke plan matters, not only for the lion, but for the entire ecosystem of the plateau. The lion is not just a beautiful conservation symbol. The lion is a conservation tool, an ecosystem architect that no other species can replace. This is what science has demonstrated across multiple ecosystems. When the apex predator disappears, the ecosystem does not simply become quieter. It collapses in ways nobody predicted. At Yellowstone, from 1926 to 1995, wolves were eliminated from the park. In 70 years without wolves, the elk population grew unchecked, stripping riverside vegetation, causing erosion and restructuring the riparian forest permanently. In 1995, 14 wolves were released. By 2020, riverside forest had recovered, and the river had altered its course due to more stable banks. Nobody predicted wolves could change the geography of a river, but they did, indirectly, through elk behavior and vegetation structure. The Congo lion in the Boteke ecosystem plays the same role, regulating forest buffalo and bongo populations, keeping vegetation in balance, preventing overgrazing erosion. When Kasai disappears, it is not the loss of a beautiful animal. It is the loss of the invisible architect of the entire system. Viewed from a great distance, as from a satellite, the Congo Basin appears as a solid mass of green, immovable, permanent, eternal. But the numbers do not allow the deception of distance. The Congo Basin holds 90.9 billion tons of carbon, more than the entire Amazon. It absorbs 1.5 billion tons of CO2 annually. The largest greenhouse gas sink of any single ecosystem on Earth. This is not green lungs as metaphor. This is the actual biochemical mechanism regulating global climate, absorbing carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen, and sustaining regional water cycles through transpiration by billions of trees. When Congo forest is destroyed, the carbon does not vanish. It returns to the atmosphere. 90.9 billion tons of carbon released. In a world struggling to reduce a few billion tons per year from all sources combined. That is an irreversible climate event within observable human timescales. In 2024, the Democratic Republic of Congo lost 590,000 hectares of primary forest. A historical record, up from 530,000 hectares in 2023, itself a record at the time. The total tree cover lost in 2024 was 1.38 million hectares, twice the area of Switzerland in a single year. Source: Global Forest Watch. In the 2025 Annual Forest Loss Report by the University of Maryland, the primary cause is not large corporations or large-scale commodity production, as in the Amazon. The primary cause in the DRC is subsistence agriculture. Millions of families clearing land to grow food for today with no alternative economic option. The DRC is the fifth poorest country on Earth by GDP per capita. And subsistence farmers are not weighing survival against forest protection. They choose survival. Artisanal mining in eastern DRC is playing an increasingly significant role, particularly in Katanga and Kivu. Wildfires covered 95,000 hectares in 2024. 590,000 hectares in a single year. 70% of the world's cobalt reserves lie beneath the soil of the DRC. Cobalt is an essential component of lithium-ion batteries. Every average smartphone contains 5 to 10 grams of cobalt in its battery. Every electric vehicle requires 8 to 15 kilograms of cobalt. Every laptop contains 30 to 60 grams. Global cobalt demand is projected to increase 300 to 500% from 2024 to 2035, according to the International Energy Agency, driven by the energy transition to electric power. And 70% of that cobalt comes primarily from the DRC. When the supply chain does not price the cost of the forest into the price of cobalt, that cost is still paid. It is simply paid by the ecosystem, by the lion, by the bonobo. by 90.9 billion tons of carbon. Not only the lion, the African grey parrot possesses cognitive abilities equivalent to a 5-year-old child. On the Alex Intelligence Scale for parrots, based on research by Irene Pepperberg at Harvard University. Found only in the Congo forest and West Africa, illegal and legal pet trade cut at least 50% of the population. In a single decade, according to 2016 IUCN estimates, approximately 15,000 to 20,000 bonobos remain. Each year, a portion of that number disappears with the forest being cleared. Every species lost is a door closed. The door of evolutionary understanding. The bonobo cannot be replaced by any other primate if we want to understand where humans came from. The door of ecosystem function. The African grey parrot regulates insect populations and fills a role no other. The door of the Congo lion, holding the position of sole apex predator in an ecosystem type that exists nowhere else on the planet. Kasai stands at the forest edge. It knows nothing about cobalt, nothing about 590,000 hectares. It does not know that every day its kingdom is contracting by fractions of the area it needs to survive. Climate scientists use the term tipping point, beyond which the system sustains its own degradation without any further outside driver. The Amazon is approaching its tipping point. When forest cover falls below 20 to 25% of total area, regional water cycles shift: less rain, more drought, and the remaining forest begins to die on its own. The Congo Basin retains 85 to 87% of its original forest cover, meaning there is still time. Meaning every hectare protected today is not just that hectare. It is a contribution to keeping the entire system below the tipping threshold. And if the Congo Basin stays below that threshold, the 90.9 billion tons of carbon remain in the ground and in the trees, not in the atmosphere. This is why the Congo Basin has been called the last card remaining. It is the final card left in a climate battle the world is losing on nearly every other front. Kasai knows only to continue, and millions of years of survival instinct tell it that this forest is its own, and it will fight to hold it. The question is not, is Kasai strong enough? The question is whether we have the will to protect the kingdom that Kasai is holding. We entered the lair of a king, watched a lion climb trees, to escape the tropical parasites below. Watched it swim across a flood channel and strike a fish from the surface with one paw. Stood in the darkness of deep jungle as it closed to within 10 meters of a target without making a sound. Is this the last one? Nobody knows for certain. Bonobos in Solonga, gorillas in Batake, elephants on those ancient trails, all still remain. And 90.9 billion tons. Inside the roots and timber we just passed through. The question is not, is it already too late? The question is, will we do something while there is still time? What would happen if a Katanga lion pride encountered a silverback gorilla on the Beke Plateau? Who wins? A data-driven biological breakdown will be in the comments below. Conservation does not require traveling to the DRC, does not require giving up a smartphone. It requires awareness, and awareness leads to small choices. Organizations working directly in the DRC, African parks, WWF Congo, the Bonobo Conservation Initiative depend on international attention and support. To maintain political pressure. Every time Wild Congo is shared, the Congo Basin is added to another person's circle of attention. The primary forest has no voice. Kasai has no voice. The bonobo cannot call us by name. But we know their names, and that is a beginning. As Kasai walks into the forest, morning light filters through the canopy in uneven shafts of gold. It is simply the king of its own kingdom, and it continues doing what it was built to do. Now, turn the gaze to another king, one fighting formidable opponents in an arena with nowhere to hide. Across Africa's wild savanna, nature tolerates neither weakness nor compassion. Every passing day is an epic of survival, written in blazing sunlight, dry winds, and relentless hunts. In heat reaching 40 degrees Celsius, the warhog is among the few creatures that genuinely thrive. With no sweat glands, they regularly seek out mud wallows as a natural cooling treatment, lowering body temperature and protecting skin from parasites. A warhog family consists of resilient mothers and tight-knit young, forming the first line of defense. They occupy burrows abandoned by other species. Using this biological air conditioning system, to maintain stable body temperature in brutal heat. Yet, in the wild, naivety is a death sentence. Nearby, a leopard is watching in silence. A solitary hunter, the leopard has earned the title of Master of Concealment. Its rosette-patterned coat blends perfectly into the dried grasses of the savanna. It approaches in absolute silence, every muscle coiled like a compressed spring. Padded feet, allowing movement without a single sound. Its target is a warthog, rich in energy and protein. The leopard knows it has one shot. It must strike precisely at the back of the neck, the lethal point, where the spinal cord meets the skull, for an instant kill. Miss that point, and the warthog will immediately use its short, dagger-sharp tusks to fight back. The leopard launches, that decisive bite ending the struggle in seconds. The scent immediately draws opportunists, forcing the leopard to use extraordinary strength to hoist the carcass into a tree. There, safe among the leaves, beyond the reach of hyenas, it can take its time, enjoying the reward of a perfect hunt. Warthog is valuable prey, but not entirely defenseless. The arrival of a pack of African wild dogs proves the point. Wild dogs are marathon runners, with a hunting success rate of up to 80%, the highest of any African predator. Yet even hunting in a coordinated pack, they must pull back from the fierce defense of the mother warthog's razored tusks. The warthog survives a brutal encounter. Dry season intensifies. Water disappears. Shrinking water holes become deadly traps where predators lurk. Few hunters dare to hunt in full daylight, except the cheetah, built for speed and sunlight. The cheetah, nature's most aerodynamic hunter. This protests a lightweight skeleton, a flexible spine, large lungs, and dark tear marks under each eye, absorbing glare to lock a target with extraordinary precision. But the price of speed is energy depletion, driven by acute hunger. It launches a pursuit of the warthog family. This time, the mother warthog is seasoned by loss and absolutely refuses to surrender another of her young. A maximum speed sprint drives the cheetah's body temperature to dangerous levels. Faced with the warthog mother's fierce resistance, and the risk of overheating. The exhausted cheetah abandons the chase and seeks survival in what little water remains. The fire of dry season on the savanna grows more intense, stirred by the Great Migration. Millions of wildebeest and zebras pour in from the north, following the rains to find green grass. The thunder of their hooves has awakened the lords of the savanna. The lion pride is ready. A single male lion can eat up to 40 kilograms of meat in one sitting. The females, the skilled hunters, must work together like a coordinated force to bring down large prey. Yet, lion survival involves more than hunting. Hyenas can threaten lionesses, but before a full adult male, any challenge is reckless. The lion male understands that the throne is not a gift, it must be seized. Tragedy plays out within the family itself when 3-year-old males are expelled by their own fathers. They must wander through unclaimed territories, facing mortal challenges and being forged into more capable fighters. The contest for dominance unfolds like a lightning storm. The winner takes everything. The loser retreats into shadow. While the males exhaust themselves under the midday sun, a warthog seizes the chance to taunt them. Using an intimate knowledge of the terrain, the warthog escapes into a hidden underground tunnel system. Leaving the panting lion pride behind, bewildered. Today, the lords of the savanna have been outmaneuvered on this parched land. The lion's frustration flows down to the waterline, where the hippo reigns. Hippos appear slow and placid, but are in fact one of the most aggressive and dangerous animals in Africa. The hippo is shrewd enough to recognize the lion's critical weakness at this moment first. A single hippo pressing toward the water's edge, threatening and posturing, and the lion pride retreats in silence. Elsewhere on the land, when nature brings rain, the scenery transforms. The Chobe River in Botswana, winding like a blue ribbon, delivers a lifeline to the kingdom of the African elephant. This is the continent's densest elephant population. These giants weigh 6.5 tons. Their bodies are masterworks of adaptation. Enormous ears that cool the body, a trunk with 40,000 muscle bands, and tusks used to dig for water or strip bark. They live in complex matriarchal social structures. Older females carry extraordinary memory, guiding the herd along ancient paths to water sources. Remarkably, they communicate via infrasound transmitted through the ground. Connecting with each other across distances the human ear cannot detect, though vital ecosystem engineers shaping the landscape. With a slow reproductive cycle of nearly 2 years of gestation, African elephants are now on the vulnerable list. Cape buffalo, symbol of African resilience, also gather along the Chobe riverbanks. Adult bulls carry massive horns with a solid boss at the forehead, hard as a concrete block. Both a robust shield and a symbol of dominance in combat. A large buffalo herd can number more than 1,000 individuals, led by experienced females. Buffalo are strong swimmers. Most remarkably, this species makes decisions in an extraordinarily democratic way. When a group wants to move, each female stands and looks toward the direction it prefers. When a majority is reached, the whole herd moves together in unison, a silent but highly precise democratic system. In sharp contrast to the buffalo's power, the spotted hyena moves with cunning agility. Far smaller, yet the hyena possesses a bite force stronger than a lion's, capable of crushing the thickest bones. Its remarkable digestive system processes bone and hooves. Its endurance is extraordinary, capable of running for hours to outlast prey or accelerating when needed. Spotted hyenas live in matriarchal clans of up to 80 individuals, led by a dominant female with absolute authority. "11 distinct vocalizations, including that signature laugh when agitated, combined with coordinated group hunting of large prey, makes their intelligence comparable to certain primates. From gentle giants to apex hunters, every creature holds a role that cannot be replaced. Protecting the wild world is protecting the planet's most precious inheritance. Preserving the epic of life for every generation to come.
The deep blue ocean, a colossal aquatic desert covering 70% of the planet's surface, where life is never static. In the deep psyche of Western culture, the ocean is the embodiment of all-powerful entities. Poseidon of Greece or Neptune of Rome. The ancients believed that every storm, earthquake, or tsunami was the consequence of Poseidon's rage as he struck his trident upon the waters. For this reason, before every voyage, sailors often performed traditional rituals and offerings to plead for mercy from the volatile deity. That fear and reverence became the compass for every expedition since the dawn of humanity. And for marine creatures, the ocean is the map for the most grueling and spectacular great migrations on Earth. The humpback whale is the leading protagonist of this epic journey. Every year, they traverse a staggering distance of up to 25,000 kilometers, the most impressive figure in the mammalian world. The journey of the humpback whale is a route hardwired into their DNA over millions of years. The starting points are the colossal stockpiles at the Earth's two poles. In the southern hemisphere, they congregate in the frigid Antarctic waters, where nutrient-rich currents nourish billions of tons of krill. In the northern hemisphere, populations depart from the waters of Alaska, the Gulf of Maine, or the fjords of Norway. The voyage lasts for 2 to 3 grueling months across the open ocean at an average speed of 8 kilometers per hour. North Pacific populations move along the west coast of North America or cross the high seas toward the Hawaiian Islands. In the southern hemisphere, they hug the coastlines of South America, Africa, or Australia to utilize coastal currents. Throughout the journey, the humpback whale fasts almost completely. They survive on a layer of blubber up to 15 centimeters thick, accumulated beforehand. Their destination is the tranquil tropical nurseries, with ideal temperatures of 22 to 25 degrees Celsius. These are warm cradles for whale calves to be born and develop in safety, far from freezing currents and predators. In New Zealand, the Maori view them as spiritual guides connecting humans with their ancestors. In Hawaiian culture, the whale is Kohola, the sacred representative of the sea god Kanaloa. And in Vietnam, the worship of Lord Fish has become a cultural heritage, where the whale is revered as a guardian deity protecting fishermen amidst rough waves. Before 1986, industrial whaling wiped out 95% of the global humpback whale population. But since the commercial whaling moratorium in 1986, whale numbers have made a spectacular recovery, reaching over 80,000 individuals. To understand and protect them, humans are undertaking efforts that seem ripped from science fiction. In 2023, the SETI Institute conducted a historic 20-minute communication with a whale named Twain by playing back a specific contact call. The fact that Twain responded rhythmically has opened up hope for decoding the creature's most complex acoustic system on the planet. But the humpback whale's grand odyssey does not always proceed smoothly. The orca, otherwise known as the killer whale. The orca is the largest member of the oceanic dolphin family. Adult males can reach up to 8 meters in length and weigh around 6 tons. While impressive, these figures pale in comparison to a humpback whale measuring 16 meters and weighing 30 tons. Because of this size disparity, orcas typically target vulnerable calves. A pod of 3 to 7 members will work together to separate the humpback mother from her calf. Once the prey is exposed, the pod using strategic coordination to exhaust the prey in a high-stakes survival challenge. It is a grueling battle lasting hours, where brute muscle is no match for the astounding pack intelligence of the ocean's kings. This superior intelligence also allows orcas to establish strange and complex relationships with humans. In the early 20th century, at Twofold Bay, Australia, a male orca named Old Tom led his pod to cooperate with local whalers. Old Tom would slap his tail to signal passing whales, herding the prey into the bay for the fishermen to harpoon. In return, they received the whale's tongue, an unprecedented symbiotic agreement known as the Law of the Tongue. However, this relationship is not always peaceful. From 2020 to 2024, the Strait of Gibraltar witnessed pods of orcas repeatedly attacking and sinking sailboats. Scientists speculate this might be retaliation following painful collisions with boat propellers in the past. Though powerful enough to take down even a great white shark, the orca faces an enemy it cannot tear apart. Marine pollution, chemical compounds like PCBs accumulate in their blubber, weakening their immune systems and causing mass infertility. Noise pollution from oil exploration has paralyzed their echolocation systems. These proud predators have now become creatures lost in acoustic darkness. Yet, the orca remains a testament to the pinnacle of animal culture. They are the only species besides humans to possess regional dialects and pass down distinct hunting skills to the next generation. Every orca clan is a tight-knit matriarchal unit, where the lead females hold the treasure trove of survival knowledge spanning decades. The orca's kingdom is built not on claws and fangs, but on family bonds and generational wisdom. But even when escaping the cunning orca pods, another phantom is waiting beneath the tropical waves. They do not confront healthy giants head-on like the orca. They play the role of the ecosystem's ruthless cleaners. They lurk around the breeding grounds, targeting stray whale calves or old exhausted individuals. A great white shark can patiently track a drifting whale carcass for kilometers. 30 kilograms of blubber in a single feeding is a gift too precious to ignore. An energy-efficient meal like this, requiring no hunting effort, can sustain their hungry stomachs for about 2 months. Great white shark or orca, who is the ocean's greatest predator? Leave your choice in the comments section. However, Amidst the life and death chases of sharks and orcas, the humpback whale's migration is not without its joys. The presence of dolphins helps alleviate psychological stress for the whales during the months-long voyage. In return, the 40-ton giants are ready to use their massive bodies as shields to protect the dolphins from cold-blooded predators. The intelligence and friendly nature of the bottlenose dolphin have made them central figures in the treasure trove of human mythology. In Greek mythology, dolphins were the messengers of the sea god Poseidon and the embodiment of the radiant god Apollo. To sailors, their appearance alongside the ship was always a good omen, a promise of a safe voyage. In Australia, Aboriginal tribes view dolphins as kin from a past life. They are souls that chose the ocean as their home, but still watch over humanity. That belief is not unfounded when we look at their brain structure. The bottlenose dolphin possesses an encephalization quotient, EQ, of 5.3, the second highest on the planet, standing only behind humans. They have the ability to recognize themselves and use distinct names through unique signature whistles. Superior intelligence helps them use tools for survival. In Shark Bay, Australia, bottlenose dolphins have learned to use sea sponges to cover their snouts for protection while foraging on the rocky seabed. Their echolocation system is so sophisticated that they can distinguish between a steel marble and a copper marble from a distance of 100 meters. When diving deeper than 250 meters, they can lower their heart rate to 12 beats per minute to conserve oxygen. A smart friend who always brings positive energy is a rare bright spot in the humpback whale's migration. They are a reminder that the ocean, though harsh, is always warm and gentle in its own way. That gentleness is also expressed through the emotional journey of the green sea turtle. Their name comes not from the color of their shell, but from the layer of green fat accumulated due to a strictly plant-based diet, unique among sea turtles. These are creatures with a prehistoric biological structure, where the hard shell is a fusion of ribs and spine. An adult can weigh up to 190 kilograms and reach a shell length of over 1.2 meters. The green sea turtle cuts through waves with front flippers that act as powerful paddles. They can maintain a swimming speed of 2 to 3 kilometers per hour. A magnetic sensor system integrated into their brain relies on the intensity and inclination of the Earth's magnetic field to create an ultra-sophisticated directional map. All those evolutionary features aim for a single purpose: returning to the source. The migration of the green sea turtle is one of the ocean's most grueling wonders. They can travel distances of up to 2,600 kilometers between feeding grounds and nesting sites. Individuals at Ascension Island must cross the entire Atlantic Ocean to return to the exact place of their birth after 20 to 30 years of wandering. This superhuman navigational ability has made them a sacred symbol in history. Ancient Hawaiians called them Honu, the entity that guided the first Polynesians across thousands of miles of ocean to discover the Hawaiian archipelago. However, this ancient messenger is facing a biological crisis known as a widespread gender imbalance. A silent gender crisis caused by temperature-dependent sex determination. If the sand nests incubating the eggs have a temperature above 29.1 degrees Celsius, the eggs will hatch as females. At the warmest nesting beaches, the female ratio has reached 99.1%, directly threatening the species' ability to reproduce. Climate change is breaking the biological scale that nature has balanced for the last 110 million years. Yet, the green sea turtle persistently plays its irreplaceable role as an ecosystem engineer. They diligently trim seagrass beds, increasing productivity and nutrient content for the habitats of thousands of other species. With the ability to hold their breath underwater for up to 5 hours and drop their heart rate to just a few beats per minute, they are masters of patience. Every crack on their shell is a diary entry of ocean history, a history that demands human action to protect. Amidst the turbulent ocean, the green sea turtle swims to keep the pulse of the underwater meadows forever green. However, the green sea turtle's 10,000-mile journey must pass through nature's most brutal checkpoints. The tiger shark, predators lurking amidst colorful coral reefs. An adult tiger shark can measure 3 to 5 meters and weigh over 600 kilograms. Dubbed the garbage can of the ocean, they possess the most diverse digestion and attack capabilities on the planet for feeding. The tiger shark's secret weapon is its teeth. Unlike the lance-shaped teeth of the great white, their teeth are shaped like short saws, incredibly strong and curved to one side. Tiger sharks are calculated, opportunistic predators. They often patrol along vital migration corridors. Especially during breeding season, they congregate densely in shallow waters near nesting beaches, transforming the shallow waters into a high-stakes arena of survival. A strategic strike to the shell's edge allows the shark to bypass the turtle's defenses, emphasizing the relentless cycle of energy exchange in the reef. This overwhelming power has made the tiger shark a symbol of destruction and authority in Pacific Island cultures. In the Kiribati archipelago, ancient warriors turned this terror into a legendary weapon. They crafted swords and long spears called tetoa, studded with dozens of razor-sharp tiger shark teeth along the hardwood shaft. This was how they borrowed the power of the Lord of the Reef to defend their islands. However, science has proven that tiger sharks are not just soulless, bloodthirsty killers. They possess a sensory system so acute they can detect a single drop of blood in 100 liters of seawater. Prey vibrations from kilometers away cannot escape this system. The most interesting aspect of their behavior is their solitary migration and tolerance for extreme environments. They can dive to depths of 850 meters and travel over 3,000 kilometers a year in search of food sources. Their stomach possesses an acid concentration that allows them to decompose almost any organic matter, playing a crucial role in keeping the coral reef environment clean. But before a crushing machine like the tiger shark, the green sea turtle does not easily accept the fate of passive prey. They have developed defensive tactics based on agility and special body structure to survive split-second life-or-death moments. When spotting the enemy's silhouette, the turtle immediately turns its body sideways, presenting the hardest part of its shell toward the jaws of death. If the shark attempts to bite, the turtle utilizes high-speed rotation to cause the opponent's serrated teeth to slide off the smooth shell surface. Green sea turtles often lure sharks into sharp coral reef areas or small rock crevices. There, the tiger shark's bulky body becomes a disadvantage. The confrontation between the tiger shark and the green sea turtle is a testament to the perfect balance of creation. On one side is the ultimate offensive weapon, on the other is the art of defense based on resilience and intellect. And this is also the most spectacular final chapter in every impressive migration cycle of the green sea turtle. Are you more impressed by the migration journey of the green sea turtle or the humpback whale? Leave a comment below and let us know. It is not just the open ocean. Rivers are also the roots of impossible expeditions. There, life must fight directly against the power of gravity and the current. Among the most resilient warriors on the waterways, none is more iconic than the sockeye salmon. Their life begins with a downstream journey from freshwater lakes to the vast Pacific. During the smoltification phase, their bodies undergo a biological revolution to switch their osmoregulation capabilities. From creatures born and raised in fresh water, they transform into resilient warriors of the open ocean. After 2 to 3 years of accumulating energy at sea, sockeye salmon develop significantly, reaching weights of 2 to 5 kilograms. At this point, the call of home begins to urge them. They undertake a grand upstream voyage, covering up to 1,600 kilometers, to return to the exact stream where they were born. The precision of their olfactory and magnetic navigation systems allows them to find their natal river with near zero error. Throughout this journey, the sockeye fast, completely burning 80% of their stored energy to transform their bodies from silver to fiery red. However, for nearly a century, these biological highways were blocked by massive concrete walls. 2024 marked a historic conservation milestone with the completion of the project to remove 4 major dams on the Klamath River. This is the largest river restoration project in US history, liberating over 600 kilometers of waterways severed for the past 100 years. This event opens up hope for recovering sockeye and Chinook populations, allowing them to touch the ancient headwaters for the first time in generations. For indigenous tribes like the Haida, Tlingit, and Coast Salish, the return of the salmon is a divine epiphany. They worship salmon as immortal gods, creatures that voluntarily sacrifice themselves to feed humanity. The first salmon ceremony is solemnly held to welcome the first caught salmon like a king returning to his palace. Its bones are returned to the river in the belief that the salmon's spirit will return to the ocean to tell its kin of the tribe's hospitality. Modern science has proven the importance of this belief. Salmon are the lifeblood of the entire ecosystem. After spawning and dying, their carcasses release massive amounts of ocean-derived nitrogen and phosphorus into the old-growth forests. Trees lining salmon migration rivers grow 3 times faster than usual. Thus, sockeye salmon become great chemical engineers. They bring nutrients from the distant open sea to nourish the primeval forests. A brilliant death initiates millions of new lives. But before the Sockeye warriors can touch the pure fresh water of the headwaters, they must pass through a door of death. These are the estuaries, where the boundary between ocean and river narrows into a brutal bottleneck. Here, the harbor seal is deployed to execute the first purge of the fattest pilgrims. Predators with a gentle appearance, but possessing the keen senses of an estuary assassin. With streamlined bodies averaging 100 kilograms, harbor seals are masters of oxygen management. They possess myoglobin levels in their muscles 10 times higher than humans. Thanks to this, they can execute dives to 500 meters and hold their breath for 30 minutes. Their hunting tactic at the estuary is a combination of timing and biosensor technology. Harbor seals use ultra-sensitive whiskers to detect hydrodynamic vibrations emitted by salmon tails. Each whisker can sense the slightest pressure changes, allowing them to track prey accurately, even in pitch darkness. They often lie motionless at the bottom, then launch a surprise snap as the school of salmon swims by. During peak migration season, harbor seals can consume an amount of salmon equivalent to 5 to 6% of their body weight daily. This predator possesses extremely high sight fidelity, often returning to the exact same rock or sandbar to rest throughout their entire lives. Unlike noisy sea lions, harbor seals are more solitary and extremely sensitive to environmental disturbances. When resting on land, they perform the banana pose, arching their head and tail upwards to keep dry and thermoregulate. Harbor seals are the strict gatekeepers of the river, determining the fate of migrants right from the starting line. A ruthless screening to ensure that only the healthiest and wisest salmon can continue to write their upstream epic. But even if sockeye salmon bypass the harbor seal, the danger does not stop. At vertical waterfalls, where the current is most ferocious, the grizzly bears are waiting. With a massive muscle mass reaching up to 400 kilograms, the grizzly is a biological machine designed for extreme energy accumulation. They possess a sense of smell 7 times keener than a bloodhound, allowing them to pinpoint the scent of salmon from kilometers away. At choke points like Brooks Falls in Alaska, the grizzly's tactic is a combination of brute force and timing. Dominant males occupy the positions right at the lip of the falls, where they simply need to open their mouths to catch salmon jumping out of the water. This is the phase of hyperphagia, a state of excessive eating to build up a fat layer up to 15 centimeters thick for a hibernation period lasting 5 to 7 months. A single grizzly bear can consume up to 40 salmon per day, intaking over 100,000 calories in just 24 hours. The power and wisdom of the grizzly bear have transformed them into sacred entities, equals to humans in the psyche of indigenous tribes. The Lakota and Haida believe bears are great brothers, carrying within them the medicinal knowledge of the green forest. Native healers often observed bears digging for roots to discover healing herbs. They wore bear claws as spiritual items to borrow healing power. The bear dance ritual of the Ute people is not only a harbinger of spring, but also a celebration of the eternal life cycle in which the bear is the central figure. In the digital age, that respect has evolved into a unique cultural phenomenon: Fat Bear Week. Taking place every October at Katmai National Park, this online voting contest attracts millions of followers to find the fattest bear. Behind the humorous images of bulging bellies is a serious scientific indicator. The fatter the bear, the more salmon in the river. A fat bear is the symbol of a healthy, functioning ecosystem. The most interesting behavior of the grizzly is its capability for high-level nutrient filtering. When salmon are abundant, they eat only the highest energy parts, like the brain, skin, and eggs, leaving the flesh for scavengers. This action inadvertently spreads nitrogen nutrients deep into the old-growth forest through feces and leftover fish scraps. As the grizzly's feast winds down, a cleanup crew from the sky begins to land, the bald eagle. With a massive wingspan reaching up to 2.3 meters, the bald eagle possesses one of the most superior visual systems in the animal kingdom. Their eyes have a resolution 4 times higher than humans, allowing them to spot a salmon carcass from a height of hundreds of meters. When millions of salmon complete their reproductive mission and die, the river becomes a colossal protein stockpile. In areas like the Chilkat River Valley in Alaska, over 3,000 bald eagles can congregate along just a few miles of riverbank. They come here to enjoy the carrion feast. Sometimes they play the role of kleptoparasites, thieves, ready to swoop down and steal salmon from the talons of seagulls or even bear cubs. This majestic appearance transformed the bald eagle into the most sacred entity in the psyche of North American indigenous tribes. They worship them as messengers of the sky, the only creatures capable of flying high enough to carry human prayers to the Creator. Ironically, the proud image on the U.S. Great Seal was once vehemently opposed by Benjamin Franklin when proposed as a national symbol. He argued that this bird had bad moral character due to its scavenging habits and laziness in stealing prey from other fishing birds. But the history of the bald eagle is truly a song of rebirth from the ashes of industrial civilization. In the 1950s and 1960s, the pesticide DDT thinned their eggshells, pushing the species to the brink of extinction with only 417 breeding pairs remaining. The most interesting behavior of this species is their absolute fidelity to a monogamous-for-life regime. Together, they build colossal nests which can weigh up to 1 ton and measure 3 meters wide, reinforced over decades of use. Today, though the population has recovered, they continue to face a new danger from tiny lead bullet fragments left in deer carcasses. Just a lead fragment the size of a grain of rice is enough to severely compromise the digestive system, posing a fatal threat to these kings of the sky. If you were to become a salmon hunter, would you be a grizzly bear, a harbor seal, or a bald eagle? At river mouths far from where eagles hunt salmon, another oceanic predator has successfully conquered fresh water. Most shark species would die from salt depletion and cell rupture when entering fresh water. But the bull shark can reabsorb salt into its blood and adjust urea concentrations via a specialized rectal gland to maintain internal balance. This superpower allows them to swim deep into major river systems like the Amazon, Mississippi, or Zambezi, traveling up to 4,000 kilometers inland. Bull sharks seek out turbid, calm waters to give birth. They transform the river into a safe nursery, a place where great white sharks or orcas can never reach. Like the tiger shark, the bull shark is incredibly omnivorous. They hide in the silty water before attacking and taking down prey with a bite force of up to 1,300 pounds per square inch. Their unexpected presence in places humans feel safest has created terrifying obsessions throughout history. The well-documented series of encounters at the Jersey Shore in 1916 became the real-life inspiration for the novel and movie Jaws. Although the movie poster featured a great white shark, incidents that year occurred in narrow freshwater creeks. Only a bull shark could exist in such areas. By 2023, this nightmare returned to busy coastal cities. In Sydney Harbour, human shark encounters hit record highs due to warming waters. Efforts to clean the river water inadvertently attracted this species closer to the mainland. Meanwhile, in Recife, Brazil, urbanization and port construction destroyed coral reefs. This unintentionally pushed highly territorial bull sharks right up to tourist beaches. This species has the highest testosterone levels in the animal kingdom, leading to aggressive and unpredictable outbursts. The bull shark stands as a testament to nature's incredible adaptability. Their presence in freshwater systems serves as a reminder of the complex and often unseen boundaries where wild ecosystems and human habitats overlap. But the presence of the bull shark is just a small shadow in the picture of river power. The representative of the ocean, when seeking fresh water, must bow before the hippopotamus. Male hippos possess sky-high testosterone levels. They are ready to crush any intruder who dares to threaten their territory. With a single snap of its massive tusks, the hippo can exert enough force to easily repel a bull shark, asserting its role as the ultimate master of the river. The pride of the open ocean assassin vanishes completely before the short temper and brute force of the river's master. This overwhelming power made the hippo an inspiration for the oldest beliefs along the mysterious Nile River. In Egyptian mythology, the female hippo was personified as the goddess Taweret, the deity of childbirth with a characteristic pregnant belly. Despite her fierce appearance, Taweret was a symbol of absolute protection for mothers and children, much like a mother hippo protecting her calf from enemies. Conversely, the male hippo was the embodiment of Seth, the god of chaos, storms, and uncontrollable destruction. The ancient Egyptians understood that behind the sluggish appearance lay a rage that could capsize boats and alter the order of an entire river bend. Biologically, the hippo is a wonder of extreme adaptation to a semi-aquatic environment. Beneath that smooth skin is a mass of pure muscle weighing up to 3 tons. Their massive bodies cause them to sink, but the river's drag cannot stop their underwater sprints along the riverbed at speeds of 8 kilometers per hour. To protect their sensitive skin from the harsh equatorial sun, The hippo's body secretes a red fluid known as blood sweat. This special chemical mixture is a natural sunscreen and also a powerful antibiotic that helps heal wounds. A hippo can hide underwater for 5 minutes to ambush prey or rivals, with a heart rate dropping to just a few beats per minute. In the wild stretches of the river, rarely is there any creature capable of more fearsome and effective aquatic warfare. But migratory journeys do not stop at the waterways. They quietly unfold every day at the end of the world, Antarctica. This is the coldest, driest, and windiest continent on the planet, a frozen arena of 14 million square kilometers, covered by an ice sheet averaging 1.9 kilometers thick. Here, temperatures can hit a record low of minus 89.2 degrees Celsius, turning every breath of moisture into sharp crystal blades. Wind speeds in katabatic zones can reach 320 kilometers per hour, strong enough to wipe out any creature lacking resilience. Though harsh, it remains the destination for some of nature's greatest migrations. A world where eternal white becomes the stage for extraordinary survival efforts. And the emperor penguin is the brightest star on that stage. This is the largest penguin species on the planet, reaching a height of 1.2 meters and weighing up to 45 kilograms. When the Antarctic winter strikes and sea ice expands, other creatures rush to escape to the open ocean for warmth. But this penguin species chooses the opposite. They undertake a grueling trek of 50 to 120 kilometers deep into the frozen continent. The purpose of this counterintuitive migration is to find stable ice sheets to establish breeding grounds. Here, they face temperatures of minus 60 degrees Celsius and violent wind gusts. But that is the price to pay to avoid underwater predators. The densest plumage in the avian world and a layer of subcutaneous fat accounting for 25% of their body weight help them retain absolute heat. To maintain warmth, thousands of males stand packed together, rotating positions from the outside to the inside to share body heat. In this way, the temperature inside the huddle can remain at 37 degrees Celsius, even when the outside environment is freezing. Throughout the 4 months of incubation, the male fasts completely, burning up to 50% of his body mass to protect the single spark of life on his feet. However, millions of years of resilience are being broken by brutal climate change. In late 2022 and early 2023, early ice melt in the Bellingshausen Sea caused over 10,000 penguin chicks to perish because they had not yet grown waterproof feathers. Satellite survey data showed that 4 out of 5 breeding colonies in this region failed completely to maintain the next generation. The demise of downy feathers under cold waters is a testament to the fragility of life in the face of extreme changes. Once the conquerors of Antarctica, emperor penguins have now become fragile warriors on the outpost of a planetary crisis. Their journey is an epic of devotion, but also a tragic song about a melting world. But breeding is only the beginning of the survival journey. When penguin chicks first head out to the open sea or mothers dive into the ocean to forage, an assassin silently waits at the ice edge. The leopard seal. This is the only seal species possessing characteristics of both a professional hunter and a filter feeder. With a body length reaching 3.5 meters and weighing over 500 kilograms, the leopard seal is a streamlined muscle block optimized for speed. Their jaw structure is a marvel of ruthless evolution. Sharp incisors and canines are designed to tear flesh, while molars have a complex serrated structure to filter krill when needed. The leopard seal's penguin hunting tactic is a combination of extreme patience and explosive attack. They often lurk right under the edge of ice floes, where flocks of penguins are forced to jump into the water to find food. Their characteristic spotted skin blends with the dappled light filtering through the ice, making them vanish under the sub-zero water. When a penguin dives in, the leopard seal activates speeds up to 40 kilometers per hour, launching like an arrow tearing through the water surface. The seal's powerful jaws secure its prize, using precise movements to overcome the penguin's protective plumage. This natural process ensures the predator gains the energy needed to survive the harsh Antarctic conditions. Leopard seals are solitary nomads. They can travel over 2,000 kilometers per season to track penguin colonies. Acute vision and a whisker system sensing vibrations help them locate targets even in the dim light of the polar winter. However, declining sea ice is seriously threatening the leopard seal's hunting kingdom. Traditional hunting grounds are disappearing, forcing them to migrate further north in search of alternative food sources. The controller of penguin and smaller seal populations is leaving its territory. This shows that hidden beneath the pristine beauty, Antarctica always harbors the fiercest battles for survival. While the leopard seal dominates the cold depths, the Antarctic sky belongs to the southern giant petrel. Dubbed the vulture of the polar seas, this bird possesses an incredible physique with a wingspan of up to 2.1 meters. Its unique identifying feature is a massive beak made of fused horny plates with tube-like nostrils running along the top. This beak is not just a tool for tearing flesh, but also contains salt glands to filter out excess salt after long flights over salty seas. When penguin chicks begin to grow, they gather into huge creches to share warmth and defend themselves. The southern giant petrel wanders around the edges of these nurseries like a ghost, patiently looking for those left behind. With their powerful beaks, they focus on weaker individuals, fulfilling their vital role as nature's cleaners to ensure the overall strength and health of the penguin colony. At South Georgia Island, penguin meat makes up to 40% of their diet during the breeding season. They act as biological sweepers, removing diseased individuals, helping to maintain genetic health for the entire penguin population. As the giant petrel lands on ice floes, another tiny bird begins the most miraculous migratory journey in the sky. The Arctic tern, the one who spends its entire life chasing eternal light. Weighing a mere 100 grams, this bird is the absolute champion of epic journeys on the planet. They possess a perfect aerodynamic structure with long, narrow wings and a deeply forked tail to minimize air resistance. Thanks to this, they travel over 70,000 kilometers every year. Throughout a 30-year lifespan, an Arctic tern can fly a total distance equivalent to 3 round trips to the moon. Their journey connects the two poles, from breeding grounds in the high Arctic to nutrient-rich waters around Antarctica to avoid winter. They travel in a giant S-shape over the Atlantic to utilize wind systems and ocean currents. Because of this, they become the creature experiencing the most daylight compared to any other species on Earth. Their appearance holds deep spiritual meaning for communities living at the ends of the world. The Inuit consider the Arctic tern the most accurate biological clock of nature. When their crackling calls echo on the cliffs, it is a sacred signal that spring has truly returned. They believe this bird is a guiding spirit, carrying light from one end of the world to the other to warm their land. However, in 2023, the long journey of these messengers of light faced a severe environmental challenge. Natural biological threats impacted seabird colonies globally, leading to significant population declines in certain areas, forcing conservationists to close a series of tourist islands to prevent human-facilitated spread. Besides resilience, the Arctic tern possesses extremely aggressive nest defense behavior. Though tiny, they are ready to dive bomb straight at the heads of much larger invaders like bears or humans to protect their eggs. The Arctic tern is the red thread connecting the planet's two poles, a testament to the limitless power of the will to survive. As long as their wing beats still vibrate across the ocean, the light of hope will forever be transmitted across continents. As the Arctic tern's wing beats touch the ground to begin the breeding season, the Arctic fox is already waiting. They are masters of adaptation, possessing a genome designed to survive in the planet's harshest environments. Their fur is the thickest in the canine family, with underfur accounting for 70%, helping maintain body heat even when environmental temperatures hit -50 degrees Celsius. Especially, the countercurrent heat exchange system in their limbs keeps their feet from ever freezing on the snow surface. During the seabird breeding season, the Arctic fox transforms into a professional egg thief with incredible patience and cunning. They often lurk around Arctic tern nesting areas, where thousands of nutrient-rich eggs are laid directly on the ground or in rocky crevices. An acute sense of smell helps them detect targets under thick snow, and lightning-fast raids follow immediately to steal eggs or catch chicks. Instead of consuming them immediately, the Arctic fox often practices caching to prepare for the harsh winter. A single fox can take dozens of eggs per day, burying them deep in the permafrost. This is a natural refrigerator that keeps food fresh for months. A tiny creature, yet it carries within it the intellect and will of a giant survivor amidst the frozen polar region. Preoccupied with flying along the coast of Africa to return to the polar regions, the Arctic tern inadvertently missed a grand survival story in the interior. The African savanna, a land of vibrant and brutal contrasting colors, where the equatorial sun brings life, yet scorches every water source. At the center of these arid basins, salt pans stretch for thousands of square kilometers, like a mirror reflecting the harshness. The pH levels in saline lakes like Natron can hit 10.5, a caustic environment that is extremely hazardous to most living organisms. Ground temperatures in the dry season frequently exceed 50 degrees Celsius, turning the air into shimmering heat waves. Yet this remains the stage for one of the planet's largest survival races. Burchell's zebra leads that race. In the ungulate world, this species holds an epic record, the longest straight-line migration in Africa, a round-trip journey exceeding 1,000 kilometers between the Okavango Delta and the Makgadikgadi salt pans. The answer lies in the mineral hunger of mothers who are pregnant or nursing. Although the northern plains are green, the vegetation there is poor in phosphorus and calcium concentrations. Zebras begin their migration at an average speed of 20 kilometers per day to reach the salt basins. At Makadik Gadi, rare rains stimulate the growth of salt grass, which contains mineral levels many times higher than ordinary grass. This is the essential nutrient source to form strong skeletal frames for foals and enrich the quality of milk for mares. This movement is a marvel of orientation and collective memory. Relying on acute olfactory sensors, zebras can detect moisture in the air from dozens of miles away. Their digestive system is designed to process the toughest, driest grasses thanks to hindgut fermentation. This mechanism allows them to consume large quantities of low-nutrient food but compensate with rapid processing speed. But on the grueling route toward the salt pans, the zebras are not alone. When thirst begins to burn away hope, they are forced to rely on a giant savior, the African bush elephant. With a weight reaching up to 6 tons, this is the largest land animal on the planet. Their power lies not just in muscle, but in a trunk containing over 40,000 flexible muscle fascicles. Furthermore, elephants possess extraordinary spatial memory, allowing them to locate underground water sources lost for decades. When rivers are nothing but sun-scorched strips of sand, elephants use their pillar-like legs and powerful trunks to dig deep holes into the earth. They have the ability to sense deep moisture thanks to vibration receptors in their feet and trunks. They persist in digging until cool water seeps up from the aquifers beneath the sand. After the matriarch and her family have quenched their thirst with up to 200 liters per day, they move on. Only then do the zebras approach to utilize the leftover water in the deep wells the elephants have excavated. Without the indirect support of these giants, zebras would struggle to cross 500 kilometers of desert without collapsing from dehydration. Besides water-finding skills, elephants possess an infrasound communication system. Low-frequency sounds under 20 Hz can travel through the ground for up to 10 kilometers. This helps elephant herds maintain contact and coordinate movement seamlessly between distant oases. The shadow of the giants is also a shield protecting zebras from glowing eyes in the deep night. Because when the sunset fades over the Kalahari Desert, a different, brutal hunting order begins to rise. The spotted hyena. Not the cowardly scavenger of prejudice. This is the predator with one of the highest success rates on the African savanna. They can maintain a speed of 60 kilometers per hour over a distance of 5 kilometers without exhaustion. The hyena's heart is massive, accounting for 1% of its body weight, allowing for rapid oxygen transport to sustain endurance chases. For a zebra, the spotted hyena is a formidable persistence hunter, capable of maintaining a high-speed chase until the prey is completely spent. Therefore, the tactic of following elephant herds is not just to find water, but also a way for zebras to borrow the authority of the giant gods. Hyenas, though fierce, are often cautious and avoid areas with adult elephants. A stomp or a low-frequency rumble from an elephant is enough to demoralize even the largest hyena clans. A terrifying jaw with a bite force of 1,100 pounds per square inch becomes useless against the giants of the savannah. Spotted hyenas live in a strict matriarchal social structure, where females are larger and have higher androgen levels than males. Every individual in the clan must follow the lead of a powerful alpha female, creating a highly disciplined hunting network. They use over 10 different vocalizations to communicate, including the signature laugh. This is actually an alarm signal indicating stress or competition for food. The spotted hyena is nature's ruthless filter, removing weak individuals to keep the bloodline of the migrant strong. They maintain the harsh balance between life and death on the salt pans. When the phantom of the hyena retreats into the shadows, the mounds on the Makgadikgadi salt pans begin to stir to welcome the dawn. And on those mounds, the meerkat transforms into a diligent sentry. Their biological structure is optimized for guard duty under the harsh sun. The black rings around their eyes act as natural anti-glare sunglasses, allowing them to look directly into the sky to spot enemies. Standing upright on termite mounds or bushes, meerkat bodyguards continuously sweep the radar with sharp eyes. They possess an extremely detailed warning language system with over 30 different sounds. They can accurately distinguish between ground threats like wild dogs and aerial threats like the martial eagle. When a meerkat emits an alarm call, this specific frequency immediately triggers the self-defense instinct of the zebra herd. Thanks to acute hearing, zebras instantly gather in defensive formation or retreat. Conversely, zebras can scare away smaller predators or disturb the soil to reveal insects for the meerkats. The strength of the meerkat also lies in absolute unity within clans that can reach up to 50 members. Every member is ready to sacrifice foraging time to assume the role of guard, ensuring safety for the whole community. Their stomachs cannot store fat, forcing them to hunt continuously to maintain energy for a super-fast metabolism. Even more amazingly, meerkats have the ability to resist many types of scorpion and snake venom thanks to mutations in their nicotinic acetylcholine receptors. The invisible coordination between zebras and meerkats is a testament to the wisdom of the Makgadikgadi ecosystem, where a tiny creature can become the eyes for giants, and life is protected by the most unexpected alliances. But not every creature needs alliances to survive. Instead of trailing elephants for water like the zebra, the gemsbok has been forged to become a permanent resident of the arid lands. To survive days when ground temperatures exceed 50 degrees Celsius, they use a vascular network called the carotid rete. This is a counter-current heat exchange system located right beneath the brain. Hot blood from the body is cooled by air in the nasal cavity before entering the brain. This allows their body temperature to rise to 45 degrees Celsius without causing neurological damage. The gemsbok is a rare antelope that does not depend on surface water. They can survive for weeks or even months without drinking a single drop. They extract moisture from tubers, roots, and wild melons hidden deep beneath the desert sand. They possess the ability to concentrate urine to the maximum and reabsorb all moisture from feces to prevent water loss through excretion. When air humidity rises at night, desert plants absorb moisture. The gemsbok chooses this time to feed, capitalizing on this precious supplemental water. Their eyes, bearing characteristic black stripes like light-filtering lenses, calmly observe the movement of an ecosystem being scorched. The presence of the gemsbok is a powerful bass note, highlighting the price of freedom in an environment without compassion, where the winner is not the fastest runner, but the one who knows how to turn scarcity into an absolute survival advantage. When the southern salt pans fall into silence, another colossal pulse begins to shake the Serengeti. The Great Migration, the largest overland migration of mammals. An eternal cycle of survival stretching across 30,000 square kilometers between Tanzania and Kenya.
Music licensing reimagined.
Leading the Serengeti's giant pulse is the wildebeest. Despite their somewhat clumsy appearance, wildebeest are true endurance athletes capable of maintaining speeds of 80 kilometers per hour. With an overwhelming army of 1.5 million individuals, they form a single biological entity, a massive pulse of life flowing across the savanna. Wildebeest are the architects of the Serengeti Mara ecosystem due to their irreplaceable role in restructuring the landscape. Their 800-kilometer circular journey is a quest for phosphorus and nitrogen concentrations. By consuming over 5,000 tons of grass daily, they prevent the encroachment of shrubbery and promote the growth of nitrogen-rich young pastures. Their digestive systems function as mobile fertilizer factories, dispersing millions of tons of organic nutrients back into the soil. The wildebeest's migratory behavior relies on a special ability: storm sensors. They can sense infrasound from thunder and the scent of rain moisture from over 50 kilometers away. Each individual relies on collective intelligence to make decisions to overcome brutal obstacles. During the breeding season, a magnificent biological phenomenon occurs. Over 500,000 calves are born within just 2 to 3 weeks. This synchronized birthing tactic helps ensure the highest survival rate against the encirclement of predators. A wildebeest calf can stand firm and run with the herd just 7 minutes after birth. This is one of the fastest development rates in the animal kingdom. The flow of the wildebeest also creates a food chain for thousands of other species, from lions and leopards to vultures lurking above. Even when they fall in the Mara River, their carcasses provide a massive protein source for the aquatic ecosystem for months afterward. The migration is how they keep the breath of the savanna from ever extinguishing. Every hoofbeat of 1.5 million individuals is an affirmation of the power of the connection between animals, the land, and the rain. Marching alongside the wildebeest are over 200,000 plains zebras. They are the vanguard force of the Serengeti expedition. They possess a durable biological configuration with a single hoof system and extremely strong incisors to process the coarsest vegetation. Unlike ruminants, zebras belong to the hindgut fermenters group. They can digest food 30% faster than antelopes. They can intake large amounts of low-quality grass and extract energy rapidly. In the symphony of the Great Migration, zebras play the role of pioneer lawn mowers, clearing the way for the entire system behind them. They always travel ahead of the wildebeest herd by a few days to a few weeks. Their mission is to process the top layer of tall grasses, which are old, tough, and contain massive amounts of fiber. By removing this rough outer shell, zebras reveal the young, soft stems and leaves, rich in protein and minerals underneath. Furthermore, the zebra's visual system is a valuable asset for the safety of the entire migratory army. With eyes located on the sides of their head, they possess a near 360-degree field of view, extremely sensitive to detecting unusual movements in the bush. They are the most effective danger warning system. The lion is one of those most dangerous threats. This is the only member of the cat family to possess a complex social lifestyle, prides, for hunting large prey. A mature male lion can weigh up to 250 kilograms. Their sturdy skeletal frame and muscle mass account for 60% of their body weight. When 1.5 million wildebeest flood through their territory, lions switch to an extreme energy harvesting mode to nourish their cubs. The lion's hunting success rate skyrockets from 15% to over 30% during the peak migration season. Lionesses, with streamlined bodies and explosive speeds of 80 kilometers per hour, assume the role of chasing and herding prey into ambush pockets. Meanwhile, male lions with brute strength execute the decisive pounce, using their immense power to quickly subdue the prey and bring the struggle to a swift conclusion. The lion's role in the Great Migration is vital to the health of the entire migratory population. By targeting old, sick, or slow individuals, they execute a strict natural selection process. This prevents the spread of disease within the crowd of millions and ensures the healthiest genes are passed down to the next generation. However, climate change is shifting migration timings, pressuring lion survival as food sources become unpredictable. Lion numbers have dropped 43% in the last 2 decades, making their role in controlling the ecosystem more fragile than ever. But the greatest challenge the migrants face lies beneath the murky waters of the Mara River. The Nile crocodile, one of the planet's largest and most terrifying reptiles. A predator that has existed almost unchanged for the last 65 million years. With lengths reaching up to 5 meters and weights over 700 kilograms, they are hunting machines optimized for ambush. Their armored skin contains pressure receptors to detect the slightest vibrations of prey in the water. The Nile crocodile is a master of patience. They can hold their breath underwater for up to 2 hours waiting for prey. They can fast for a whole year, but consume food equal to half their body weight in just a few days of migration. The weakest or slowest individuals are often targeted in the water, where the crocodile employs its signature rotational technique. This powerful movement allows the predator to efficiently process its meal, utilizing the maximum torque of its entire body. Nile crocodiles are the great gatekeepers of the blue boulevards flowing through the savannah. Their presence turns every river crossing into a purification ritual, where only the strongest and luckiest have the right to step onto the other bank. When the brutal purge of crocodiles and lions ends, the remnants of life are not wasted under the scorching sun. From the soaring heights, the keenest eyes begin to descend to execute the final cleanup mission. The white-backed vulture, the diligent sanitation army of the Serengeti ecosystem. They possess a wingspan of up to 2.2 meters. This is the perfect design to utilize thermal columns to soar for hours without expending energy. Their specialized features allow them to maintain hygiene while efficiently scavenging, ensuring that no essential nutrients are wasted in the savanna's cycle of life. Notably, the white-backed vulture's stomach possesses an acidity level of approximately pH 1, stronger than car battery acid. Their highly acidic stomachs allow them to neutralize the deadliest pathogens and bacteria found in carcasses without harm. In the Great Migration, vultures play the role of biological waste processing centers operating at maximum capacity. Their presence prevents the spread of disease outbreaks from carrion into water sources and the air, protecting the health of the entire migratory herd. Kneeling also resembles a ritual. Yet for the warthog, this gesture is not a display of ego. For them, lowering the body is a practical solution to address their most basic requirement: a meal. The warthog possesses fairly long legs, but its neck is short and remarkably stiff. To reach the short tufts of grass or dig for roots, they must fold their front legs and kneel on their wrists. This is certainly not a matter of enduring an unpleasant ordeal. There are incredibly thick and tough calluses located at the warthog's wrist joints. It is a scene that is both quirky and down to business. But while the warthog is preoccupied with the earth, the leopard takes full command of his surroundings. This solitary prowler does not believe in sharing his domain. The leopard is a solitary phantom. He does not need an army to maintain his empire. The map of his kingdom is drawn with invisible boundaries that are very assertive. The solitude of this big cat is only broken when the scent of a lady spreads to the edge of his territory. Her domain is smaller and may overlap with his kingdom. They share a brief honeymoon lasting 5 days at most. When the task is complete, the romance fades away instantly. They return to the quiet and to their professional solitude. For a young leopard, patience is the most important survival lesson. He aims for the most vulnerable in the boar family. But the hunt is only half the battle. The leopard performs a technique that few other big cats can mirror perfectly. This is his natural storage area, where food is kept away from thieves on the ground. Not with this lioness, though. Unlike her mate with the thick mane, the lioness has a body that is quite nimble and quick. Going up this tree is no challenge for her. The difficult situation belongs to the leopard. He doesn't dare to stand his ground. The queen is twice his size and significantly stronger. What could be more unpleasant than this bold claim on his property? The struggle for living space and resources also reaches the forests of Madagascar, where in the absence of the large, assertive cats, smaller creatures are carrying out their own territorial reorganizations. The drongo is a spirited bird. Weighing only 50 grams, they proactively take the lead. The drongo is ready to confront the apex predators of the sky like eagles and large owls. Simply for being near their territory, it is the aerial version of the honey badger. When other drongos enter the territory, the encounter is no longer just a simple disturbance. A clash of beaks and talons, intense. This struggle often continues persistently in another spot, if the challenger has not yet thrown in the towel. However, the drongo does not stop at challenging its own kind. It acts as a professional enforcer toward the paradise flycatcher. It intends to encourage the other party to seek a new home elsewhere. It establishes a paradoxical protection contract with smaller, gentler birds. These neighbors are permitted to nest within its domain to enjoy safety from larger predators. In return, the price is a frequent tax through quick food interception. From these tests of wit in Africa, the journey of territorial claim takes us across thousands of miles to another latitude. In the land of true giants in Alaska, a completely different arena awaits. The rules of the kingdom are once again rewritten with raw, physical power. The far north of Alaska. As summer arrives, Alaska's wild rivers transform into the planet's greatest energy arena. The Salmon Run. Territorial claims at these river bends aren't as permanent as the leopards, but the intensity is just as fierce. Each sockeye salmon contains about 4,500 calories, and an adult bear must consume at least 30 fish every day. The prime fishing spots become priceless assets. Massive alpha males naturally claim the most rewarding spots. Anyone looking to cross the line faces long claws and powerful jaws. However, the riverside arena also witnesses the most intense instinctive conflicts. This mother bear won't seek a new partner as long as her little ones are by her side. A mother's love is an unbreakable biological wall. The ultimate goal for every river dweller is to pack on enough fat before entering a hibernation lasting 5 to 6 months. Dominance here is only seasonal, yet it is the only ticket to seeing the sunrise of next spring. However, not every kingdom mirrors the one in Alaska. In the jungle borders between Rwanda and Uganda, massive primates are running an unusually calm society. The greatness of voyages is not merely measured by thundering footsteps or wingspans that eclipse the sun. Right beneath our feet, in the leaf litter and damp soil, another expedition is silently underway. It is the microscopic world, where tiny creatures undertake resilient migrations. The monarch butterfly is perhaps the most iconic representative of these journeys. A creature weighing less than a gram, but carrying within it the genetic map of a transcontinental traveler. They possess a sophisticated navigation system using a sun compass and a biological clock located in their antennae to adjust flight direction based on the changing angle of light. The monarch butterfly's migration is a parade lasting over 4,800 kilometers from southern Canada and the US to the Oyamel fir forests on Mexican volcanoes. The greatest miracle lies in the appearance of a special generation named by scientists as the Methuselah generation. While ordinary butterfly generations live only 2 to 6 weeks, the Methuselah generation can live up to 8 months, 8 times longer than normal. By delaying the development of their reproductive systems, reproductive diapause, they channel all stored energy into accumulating lipids to execute the transcontinental flight. Their journey is a biological miracle connecting lands with a fragile thread of the will to survive. But in the Oyamel forests, the peace of millions of butterfly wings is not an impenetrable shield. Even though the monarch butterfly possesses a potent biological defense, nature still creates rule breakers. The black-headed grosbeak. The monarch butterfly's body accumulates high concentrations of cardinalide glycosides. This natural compound from milkweed is a deterrent that affects the heart function of potential vertebrate predators. However, the black-headed grosbeak possesses a tolerance for cardinalides hundreds of times higher than other birds of similar size. Instead of eating the whole insect, they skillfully use their specialized beaks to target the lipid-rich abdomen, carefully avoiding the most toxic parts of the butterfly. Leaving Oyamel, we arrive at an isolated island in the Indian Ocean, where a silent but more intense march is staining the ground red. This is the army of the Christmas Island red crab. When the first rains of the wet season fall, a biological signal is simultaneously triggered inside the bodies of over 50 million individuals. Tens of millions of crabs abandon the safety of their rainforest burrows to head toward the ocean. The entire 135 square kilometer island seems covered by a moving red carpet, a surging crustacean waterfall spilling over roads and cliffs. The sole purpose of this expedition is the reproductive cycle. Males dig burrows by the shore to mate. Females wait for the tidal cycle to release eggs. At the moment of high tide and the waning moon, each female will cast about 100,000 eggs into the sea, creating a colossal biological cloud beneath the salty water. After a month of developing in the open ocean, the baby crabs, small as match heads, undertake the return journey. They crawl from the sea back to the green forest to continue the eternal loop. The red crab migration is the breathing rhythm of an entire island ecosystem, where nutrients are cycled between forest and sea. That red carpet is a testament to the undying will to perpetuate the species, an epic written by claws and calcium shells on damp earth. However, this vibrant red carpet faces a significant threat from an aggressive invasive species, the yellow crazy ant. When migrating crab herds cross their territory, these ants deploy high-concentration formic acid onto the crab's weakest points. This acid quickly overwhelms the sensory systems of the red crabs, leaving them disoriented and completely immobilized. Supercolonies, with densities reaching thousands of individuals per square meter, have leading to a loss of over 15 million crabs and disrupting the island's ecological balance. The disappearance of this engineer crab species has led to a chain reaction disaster. The forest structure changes. Seedlings are choked by leaf litter that is no longer being cleared. This is a stark warning about the fragility of isolated ecosystems against the intrusion of invasive species. Beneath the deep blue water at the island's edge, the crab eggs just released from their mother's embrace suddenly become a feast for the planet's largest fish, the whale shark. They can reach lengths of up to 12 meters and weigh over 20 tons. Though they are sharks, they hunt using a sophisticated filtration system comprising over 20 filter pads inside a massive mouth cavity. They perform active suction feeding, expanding their mouths up to 1.5 meters wide to swallow thousands of liters of water per minute. This filter system traps protein and fat-rich crab larvae, while excess seawater is expelled through gill slits. The synchronization between the red crab's reproductive cycle and the whale shark's migration route is a testament to the intimate connection between land and ocean. Thanks to the abundant energy from this sea of larvae, they can accumulate enough fat reserves to continue their transoceanic voyage lasting thousands of kilometers. From the bright red larval fields on distant islands to dusty savannas and frozen polar regions, the cycle of life has never stopped. Every voyage we have just traversed is not merely a physical movement between geographical coordinates. They are epics written in sweat, blood, and the fierce will to survive of millions of living beings. Among the extraordinary migratory journeys we have just explored, which animal left the strongest impression on you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share the video, as well as subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next exciting journey.